We've got a top 50 RPI matchup in Brookline. Northeastern is rolling. They've won 5 in a row and 14 of their last 15, and now they look to sweep Kansas State in a non-conference series at Friedman Diamond. And we thank you for joining us. Alongside Mike Puzangara, I'm Joe Weil. The Northeastern Huskies are the hottest team in college baseball. They've won 16 in a row, which is the longest current winning streak in the nation. And today they match up with the UMass Lowell Riverhawks here at Friedman Diamond in the last non-conference home game of the year for Northeastern. And we thank you for joining us. Alongside David Korzanowski, I'm Joe Weil. The Huskies are 25-1 over their last 26 games. And David, their RPI has jumped up all the way to 32. And on top of that, they now have the 4th best winning percentage in the nation.
1-2, goes to the slider. It's fisted down the right field line for a base hit. Eblin comes in to score. Diggs races to third. He's held up. The throw comes towards second. It's an RBI double for New Contradas. 2-2 pitch. Ripped up the middle and through for a base hit. Crossan comes in to score. Beckstein rounding third, coming to the plate. The throw is cut off. It's a 2-run single for Teddy Baudet on senior day. And we're tied at 2 in the second. 1-2. Driven high and deep to left field. Olsen looks up. This ball's gone into the Northeastern bullpen. Another 0-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that's the ball game. Avon Cabral, the freshman, with a complete game shutout against one of the best offenses in the CAA. 0-1 ripped up the middle, but this could be 2. Goodman flips to second for 1. Muzaki to first in time, and Max Gitlin is fired up coming off the mound, and rightfully so. 6 brilliant innings from the D3 transfer, and he is shutting down this Eagles offense. Mike Glavin making his way toward the third base coaching box. What a run he's had with the Huskies. You see the overall record, 342, 220-1. But right now his team is in an uncharacteristic spot as of late, Alex, down 2-0 against Delaware.
Yeah, they were down 1-0 on Tuesday against Harvard, but these games, the Beanpot, of course, had a certain level of emotion to it, but these conference games, the intensity, I think, is higher. And even though this game's not being played at Fenway Park, Delaware came into this series wanting to measure themselves against a team that is clearly seen as the strongest team in the conference. And Northeastern looks like they've got a place for them in the CAA tournament, but Delaware is still fighting to make sure they stay in the top 6. Only 6 of the 12 teams make it into the conference tournament, and there are a lot of teams in the middle like Delaware that are pretty bunched up. So this is a critical game for the Blue Hens.
First pitch to Will Fosberg is a little high from Ethan Schaub, who has retired 6 in a row. Yeah, to your point, Delaware 10-8 in CAA action. That's good for 4th place right now. They're 6 games back of Northeastern. Beltine strike inside corner, but right above them, UNCW at 11-7, William and Mary 12-6. Under them, you have Elon and Campbell at 9-9. Fosberg rips this one into right center field, hit deep. Graber back to the wall, looks up, and it one hops off the warning track and then the wall. Fosberg racing toward third. Can he get there? Relay throw is not on target, and Fosberg slides in safely with his second triple of the season.
That is triples territory here at Friedman Diamond, and Fosberg just enough of the legs to get that all the way to third. He hits this ball squarely on the screws, and you got to think that he's thinking triple out of the box. You get a good look as where that bounces, right at the edge of the warning track. Graber plays it as well as he could, and I think a better relay throw coming in from second base is enough to get Fosberg, but it took Minkler too far from the bag, and he didn't have a chance to get a tag on Fosberg.
So here's a big spot for Chris Walsh, who gets to start at shortstop today. First pitch outside from Schaub, so that triple ends the stretch of 6 straight batters retired. But Walsh, a sophomore from Duxbury, Massachusetts, he's just 2 for 28 on the year, but filling in for Jack Goodman today. Playing shortstop, batting 9th. Count at 1-1.
Yeah, you're right about being a big spot for him. He hasn't had a game start since March 21st against Towson. That was the very first conference series that Northeastern played. So no doubt he had a little bit of warning given that Goodman was banged up on Tuesday that his number might be called, and here he is.
Swing and a miss, count it 1-2. And how about the Huskies and the way they've played in conference action, Alex? They lose the first game they play against the CAA opponent in Towson. They've only gone 16-1 since.
Just ridiculous. The only other loss was on the road at Campbell.
Infield back, count it 1-2. That fastball misses high. After Walsh, it's back to the top of the card and Ryan Garrity. The Huskies at home this season, 16-1. That's outside.
Good plate appearance here by Walsh. You know, it's been a while since he's gotten regular ABs. He did get into game 2 against Monmouth last weekend, but trying to get your timing and got that pressure of a man at third base. Just trying to drive a ball into the outfield.
And that's high for ball 4. So a nice plate appearance from Chris Walsh. He was down in the count, had 2 strikes on him, and ultimately works a walk.
Yeah, to get any sort of production out of a guy who's 2 for 28, hasn't been used regularly, to be able to get a plate appearance where you get him on, that's a huge win for Northeastern, but that's a missed opportunity for Schaub and Delaware, especially when you get ahead in the count 1-2. You throw 3 straight balls after that.
Yeah, that's an at-bat that you figure Ethan Schaub would want back. So runners at the corners, nobody out. Here's Ryan Garrity. Good fastball, hits the outer black.
And here's where you start to wonder if Northeastern sends Walsh, a guy with some speed, to try and create some chaos, draw a throw that gets Fosberg home without even swinging the bat.
Walsh hasn't stolen any bases this year, but had 2 steals last year. The only thing that makes it tougher is that Schaub is a left-hander, so has a good eye on him. You figure Fosberg won't channel his inner Jaron Duran and try and steal home.
You know, the catcher might still be out of breath from running all the way to third on his triple not long ago. But, yeah, I can't see a straight steal being approved there by his head coach, Mike Lavin, who's the third base coach. Just said something to Fosberg as they look on to Schaub.
Walsh is a good lead over there at first. He doesn't go. 1-1 is high. You have Cam Maldonado on deck. And while he struck out in his first at-bat, he is one of the more dangerous hitters in the CAA. Two-1 to Garrity. He rips that into right field, base hit. The Huskies are on the board. Fosberg scores. Garrity chugging for second. He slides in safely. It's an RBI double for Ryan Garrity. It's a 2-1 game now here in the third.
Well, much like his first at-bat, Garrity, even though he pulls it, he doesn't get overly aggressive here. He waits on this pitch and then drives it through the right side, doesn't try and do too much, and he can see where that ball is, where Graber is. He knows that he's got a great chance at a double immediately off the bat. Northeastern in business in a big way, and how about the lefty batter, Ryan Garrity? You know, he's batting better against lefties than he is righties by just 2 points, but 294 against lefties, unbothered by the southpaw Schaub, and that's going to be the end of his day.
Yeah, Delaware head coach Greg Mamula, he takes out his starter Ethan Schaub. New pitcher coming in for the Fightin' Blue Hens, but the Huskies are in business. Down by 1, runners on second and third with nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Back right after this.